All right, let's get into it. We're going to peel back the layers on those super glossy, super tempting franchise proposals. We're going to tear down that marketing wall and show you what's really hiding behind those big, flashy promises. You've seen this stuff everywhere, right? It's all over social media. You got influencers leaning on fancy cars, flashing these huge revenue numbers, and basically promising you a shortcut to getting rich. Well, the source we're digging into today makes a pretty shocking argument. It says the money for that supercar, it doesn't come from selling coffee or fried chicken. Nope. It comes straight from your franchise fee. You know, the one you paid with your life savings. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the four biggest, most common deceptions that are buried deep inside these proposals. By the time we're done, you're not going to be a dreamer anymore. You're going to be a detective who can spot one of these traps from a mile away. Okay, let's start the countdown with deception number 4. This is the big one, the bait that used to get you hooked in the first place, the illusion of just massive, unbelievable turnover. So they'll dangle a number, something just like this, right in front of your face, a huge monthly revenue figure. It's designed to make your jaw drop and get you fantasizing about a whole new life. But here's the question they really, really don't want you to ask. What's actually left of that giant number after you subtract all the real world's costs? The ones they just kind of forgot to mention in the pretty brochure. And this chart, wow, this just says it all, doesn't it? Our source gives us a simple and honestly pretty brutal rule of thumb. Take that massive turnover number they promised you and right away just mentally slash it by 70%. That huge chunk you just cut out, that's for your operational costs. The tiny little sliver that's left over, yeah, that's what you get to call profit. And check out that last point because this is where it gets really crazy. The royalty fees, they're based on your gross revenue. Just let that sink in for a second. That means you could be losing money hand over fist, deep in the red every single month, and you still have to cut them a check. You're bleeding out, and they're still getting their cut. Okay, on to deception number 3. This is all about how they create the proof for that turnover illusion. See, they don't actually show you a business. They put on a Broadway-level show for you. They'll invite you on this exclusive tour of their best store. And what do you see? Long lines, people everywhere, cash just flying into the register. But what you're seeing isn't a normal Tuesday. It's a performance. It's a stage, propped up by a huge ad spend or maybe even some hired actors, all designed to create this perfect illusion of success for you, the potential buyer. For every one of these perfect showcase locations, there could be 10 others just down the road that are barely scraping by. So why don't you ever hear from those owners? Because they are legally silenced, gagged by some very, very strict non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs. So this is what you have to do. You have to become your own private investigator. Forget the official tour. You need to run your own street intelligence mission. Go find the truth on the ground. Talk to an employee who's just trying to get through a slow shift. Their honest, unfiltered opinion is worth more than any proposal they could ever show you. All right, let's talk about something even darker. This is a mechanism that sucks your profits dry before you even make your first sale. Welcome to deception number 2, what our source calls the raw material vampire. This is the ultimate bait and switch. You think you're buying into a cool brand and a proven system, but in reality, their main business model is to lock you in as a captive customer, forcing you to buy all your supplies from them at insane prices. And this right here just lays the whole scheme bare. They can force you to buy, say, a key ingredient from them for 3 times what it costs on the open market, a 300% markup. Your cost of goods is permanently inflated, making it basically impossible to ever compete with the little independent shop down the street. And all of this leads us to the number 1 most critical, most dangerous deception of them all. This is the final move. This is the one that slams the door shut and locks you inside a prison that you actually paid to build. The source material does not mess around. It says that stack of papers they want you to sign, it's not a partnership agreement. It is a legal weapon, and it has been carefully designed to dump every ounce of risk onto your shoulders, while the franchisor keeps all the power and has zero liability. Yeah, buried deep in that tiny fine print are these little traps, and they're all designed to do one thing, to take away every single one of your exit strategies. You can't close up shop, you can't sell your stuff to recoup your losses, you can't even talk about your bad experience, and you have to keep paying them no matter what. Okay, so if you take away only one thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this. Never ever sign that contract when you're all excited and hyped up. Take it home, let that excitement wear off, and pay a lawyer to look at one section above all others, the termination clause. You absolutely have to know your exit strategy before you even think about going in. So, after seeing how all these traps connect, the big question is, what's the alternative? How do you avoid spending your life savings just to fund someone else's sports car collection? The real message from our source is a call to action. It's about changing your entire mindset. Stop trying to buy a ready-made business in a box and start thinking about how you can build your own from scratch. And that's the key takeaway, right? True entrepreneurship means you control your product, you control your brand, you control your suppliers, and you control your own destiny. You can take just a tiny piece of that huge franchise fee and start something small, maybe even in your own garage, but you'll be the king or queen of your own little kingdom. It is so much better to build your own path slowly, authentically, than it is to just sprint full speed towards a cliff that somebody else built for you. So the final question we want to leave you with is this: what kingdom are you going to build for yourself?